Am I the asshole for refusing to honor my dad's wishes? I, 25F, have been caught in the middle of my parents' messy divorce for years. My dad claims my mom cheated, but there's no evidence and my mom denies it. Honestly, their marriage was extremely incompatible, and it was bound to end sooner or later. My dad took the divorce really badly, and my younger sister and I have always tried to be compassionate and understanding. However, after the divorce, he imposed this rule. We are never to meet or interact with any potential partner of my mom's. He made it clear that he doesn't want anyone else taking the role of dad. We disagreed but went along with it to keep the peace. However, during a recent conversation, he told me he expects us to follow this rule for the rest of his life. I was dumbfounded. I asked, even when I'm 40, married, and with kids of my own, am I still not allowed to meet someone my mom has been with for years if he makes her happy? He said yes. He then added that if I did, I'd stop being his daughter, and he would cut me out of his life entirely. I think his fear stems from feeling replaced, which I understand when we were younger. But at this stage in our lives, it feels absurd. It's not like a new partner would raise us. We're adults now. I told him I'm not willing to follow this rule forever, and if he chooses to cut me off for that, it will be his decision, not mine. He called it a lack of principles and insists I would be the one responsible for ending our relationship. I think this rule is controlling and unfair, and I refuse to let it dictate my life any longer, but I also don't want to lose my dad. Am I the asshole for standing my ground? He doesn't want to lose you as his daughter, so if you meet a partner of your mom's he'll check notes cut you out of his life and lose you as his daughter. Make it make sense. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. However, after the divorce, he imposed this rule. We are never to meet or interact with any potential partner of my mom's. This rule of his is both unreasonable and impossible. This is basically asking you and your sister to cut off contact with your mom. He made it clear that he doesn't want anyone else taking the role of dad. 1. He will always be y'all father no matter what. 2. Unless he plans to stay single for the rest of his life, which I highly doubt, then wouldn't his new partner possibly take the role of mom, going off his logic? Not the asshole. Was the actual reason for your parents' divorce because he was too controlling and he just lied about the infidelity? Dad claims my mom cheated, but there's no evidence. Stop being his daughter, cut me out of his life entirely. Not the asshole. These are his decisions and they have consequences. Not the asshole. Your dad is making you responsible for his feelings where your mom is concerned. He is telling you to pick one parent over the other. Children, even adult children, should never be put in the middle of their parents' issues. If dad wants to play, tell him you will never meet any potential partner of his either. It's only fair after all. My parents got divorced when I was 14. My father did exactly this. Rules after rules, demands after demands. My mom's new partner was not to visit at her house. Or to meet us. We were not allowed to tell anyone anything about him. When moving away, he didn't want to meet if I stayed at my mom's place. And so on. I finally stopped talking to him with about 26. Definitely fit the best. Put your foot down now. This behavior will not stop by itself. If he escalates it's his choice but placating him only delays what will happen either way. Am I the asshole for not letting my mother-in-law stay the night at our house right after I give birth? I, 28F, and my husband, 27M, are expecting a baby soon. My parents live close by, while his mom is a few states away. I have a good relationship with his mom, but we aren't very close. It's mostly polite conversations when she visits. I'm happy for her to visit as soon as the baby is born. Since it's hard to predict the exact date, we plan to call her and my sister, who also lives out of state, when I go into labor. They know they're welcome to book a flight right away or wait until after the birth. Whatever works for them. I recently told my husband I didn't want anyone staying overnight at our house for the first few days after birth. He seemed surprised but supported me, and we agreed to let everyone know. I told my mom first, explaining family is welcome to visit all day and into the evening, but I wanted the first few nights to bond as a family and adjust without overnight guests. This is our first, and likely only, baby, and I want to treasure those moments. I also explained that while I appreciate people wanting to help, having guests, even well-meaning ones, can be overwhelming. I have a lot of social anxiety, a low social battery and expect to feel exhausted and vulnerable after birth. Not to mention both our mothers have no problem telling us what we are doing wrong and how we should be doing things. My mom to me and his mom to him. I suspect it might be hard having people over all day when I am that tired and emotionally vulnerable right after giving birth, but I understand grandparents wanting to be around the baby right away and having some time to ourselves at night felt like a good compromise. My mom understood and offered for my mother-in-law to stay at her house, which has a comfortable guest room. We also offered to pay for a nice waterside hotel, giving her two options. When my husband explained this to his mom, she became upset and said if she couldn't stay with us, she wouldn't come at all. This response threw me off. We've always hosted her before, even though having guests makes me anxious. I've never said no because she's family and I feel I should get over my anxiety, but I feel the first few days after birth are different. My husband is supportive and says it's my decision, but I know he wants her to come. I want that too. For her to meet her grandchild and for my husband Sake. But her reaction has left me feeling anxious and panicked about labor all of a sudden. I'm torn. If I give in, I worry I'll feel overwhelmed and resentful, affecting the experience and weeks left leading up to it. If I don't, I'm afraid it will hurt my relationship with her and disappoint my husband. Even though it's her choice not to come. Does anyone have advice? Are the first few days after birth a good enough reason to stick to what makes me comfortable, even if it upsets her? I'm trying to find a solution that works for everyone, but I'm struggling. You are not the asshole and definitely not in the wrong. You have every right to make the decision that is best for you, especially when you are going through such a major life event like having a baby. Your mother-in-law is being unreasonable. You want them to see the baby and you have arranged for another equally acceptable place to stay. Hold firm to your decision, and I think mother-in-law will change her mind as she's basically giving you a ridiculous ultimatum. Not the asshole. When my husband explained this to his mom, she became upset and said if she couldn't stay with us, she wouldn't come at all. Bullet dodge. My husband is supportive and says it's my decision, but I know he wants her to come. And she is free to. The only one stopping that from happening is her. You will be exhausted, bleeding, oozing, and probably naked for the first few days after birth. You will have no time to sleep or shower. You are being very generous in allowing visitors during the day. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Have a quick search and have him read the Lemon Clot essay. It's out there and it's eye-opening for men after their partners give birth. But here's the thing, you cannot know how you will feel after your baby is born. Some people are up and walking around feeling great, others, not so much. With a huge range in between. My dear, this is a time in your life to be entirely selfish and focused on your own comfort. Everyone else can go push a rope. Also remember that it's always easier to turn a no into a yes than the other way around. My in-laws pulled the same crap. They booked a hotel but only stayed one night because they were tired. Well, fine by me. They ruined my Sil's first weeks after birth by coming over every day and butting in. Grandma wanted to hold my niece all the time. My Sil had to ask for her baby back. I was not letting that happen to me. So, let her sulk. You are not unreasonable at all. You are even very accommodating. It's a power play to her, one-upping the other grandma and now guilt-tripping. Do not let her. Tell her. Okay, we are sad. To hear that, but you are welcome to visit during the day whenever you are ready. Not the asshole. I didn't even have to read this to say not the asshole honestly, but the rest of the post just confirms my instinct from the title. You are the priority when you're giving birth, not your in-laws. If you need a few days after birth to collect yourself and adjust before they visit, that is completely reasonable and a person who's thinking rationally wouldn't be offended by that. This is just common sense, and I'm glad your husband is supporting you. Am I the asshole for not caring about, honoring, my in-laws? Let me preface with that I fully understand that many people have different viewpoints of honoring their parents, lol. So my husband and I apparently have differing views about honoring our parents, and I've been made out to be the asshole by his family multiple times. His family is not respecting of boundaries I've put up, and he, husband, also put up, and so I've definitely been a bit more rigid about things. My husband already ruined what I wanted for our wedding by inviting his whole extended family as his parents wanted him to. I wanted something more intimate, letting his mother take unwanted, formal, wedding pictures which made me uncomfortable. We'd hired a photographer, and just other various things. They push and push and push and it's suffocating. Anyways, now I've become the asshole again because I don't want to honor his parents by letting them see me and our firstborn child within the first 24 hours of me giving birth. I don't want my parents there, either, lol, I just want it to be the two of us. I already know myself and my body and my emotions, and with how overbearing his parents are, I know it's going to be hell for me. He claims that the birth isn't just about us, it's about our parents, too. Which I laughed in his face about. Maybe that's asshole-ish, lol. My parents don't believe their first grandchild is about them, and so I'm not sure where my husband and his parents get this notion. Am I the asshole for sticking my ground and refusing that? I feel like I'm going literally insane, lol. Not the asshole. Dear Lord, do we have the same in-laws? Because I swear mine act like this. If your in-laws are particularly religious, like mine are, remind them about the concept of leaving and cleaving, where it's laid out that a man shall leave his mother and father and become one with his wife, meaning what they want takes a back seat. You are your husband's priority. You can still honor your parents without bending to their every whim. This is something my husband and I fought through as well, and it caused a lot of problems early in our relationship and into our marriage. Stand your ground. ETA. Holy crap, I was not expecting this many upvotes. Is this what it feels like to be popular? Not the asshole. Your in-laws wouldn't be a problem if your husband didn't let them. And he is letting them. Has been since before the wedding. You got a husband problem. Not the asshole. There's nothing funny about people dishonoring your perfectly healthy boundaries. I'm just surprised there was one, lol, in this post, let alone 4. Not the asshole on the first 24 hours. It's a medical event, your call 100%. On some of the other stuff, compromise is important. It was both your wedding and he valued more family just as much as you valued a more intimate event. Neither is wrong. His mother's opinion about the wedding and photos doesn't matter. Sometime though it can be easier just to give her behavior a big eye roll and not dwell on her. Just limit time with her and ignore her nonsense. If it was me, based on what you wrote, I would be dishonoring the in-laws. Inform the hospital who should be allowed in. But more important, you have a serious husband problem. Your husband does what his parents want him to do and disregarding your feelings. Be prepared to go to your parents' house with your baby. NRA, you have a husband problem. I think you should send a group text to his and your parents and him, making it clear that you do not want visitors for the first X days. However, on day X, you and your husband will host an event, assuming that all went well with the birth and medical advice agrees, where they can all meet the new baby. Photos can be taken, etc., etc. Sign it with love from both of you. Stick to your guns and tell your husband that when he has pushed a watermelon-sized object through his $1, then he can have a say in visitor schedules. See if you can get the medical staff to also tell him that no visitors for the first week is a good idea. Am I the asshole for refusing to switch rooms with my pregnant sister? I 16 female live with my older sister 21 female and both my parents. My sister is currently pregnant with twins and is due in April. Before my sister got pregnant we switched rooms, which was a huge mistake on my part because I had to spend 4 hours cleaning her room after we switched. Even though she told me to clean mine because she was going to clean hers. Now I should have known better because I know her, but you have to understand I am not being dramatic with 2 people. It took my friend and I a little bit over 4 hours to get it livable for my standards. I had to shampoo the carpet 3 times for it to smell decent. Sorry, I just need to get it across for this story to make sense. Now the room I'm in now had a bathroom that was previously broken because you'll never guess, my sister broke it. About 3 months ago we got it fixed. And 3 months ago now suddenly she's not going to be able to raise her babies upstairs because there's not enough room. Now my room is a little bigger than hers, but not by much. I have a smaller bed than she does, so she would take up more space in this room than I would, so that could also be why she feels her space is not big enough. Now here's my issue, her carpet upstairs is stained bad. The carpet is mostly fucking hard and it reeks of mold, not to mention I am going to have to clean it. I'm sorry, but why should I be punished? I'm not pregnant? I didn't do anything to deserve this? I know my parents won't clean it, or ask her to. Why should I have to clean up her mess again for a room I don't even want? There is stains all over the walls, and trash stashed in every corner because it's clean. Now I understand that after she gives birth it most definitely will affect her ability to walk upstairs where her room is, which is her new reason for us needing to switch rooms. But not even 2 months ago she was sleeping in the living room because she couldn't walk upstairs, which was weird because she switched back to her room upstairs. I'm not going to say anything because you know I'm 16, I've never been fucking pregnant before, but that was just a little odd to me. But I really like my room, I put in a lot of money, time and effort into it, and I don't really want to have to do it again. My mom tells me that she won't make a switch, but I'm worried my sister will guilt trip her into doing what she wants like always. But where I might have been the asshole is when she asked me for the second time, she said I had already agreed to switch rooms, which was not true. So, I got angry and told her I never agreed to that, to stop making shit up, and she'd had to kill me to get this room from me. Which caused her to get angry and we started arguing. So am I the asshole for refusing to switch rooms? I'm going with not the asshole, but you need to stop with the drama. If she asks to switch rooms, just say no calmly. Even if she asks over and over again. Also, make yourself a lot less available to her. Plenty of new mothers have bedrooms upstairs. I did. My nursery was upstairs. And I certainly wasn't 21 when I started my family. She is young and spry and being ridiculous. Is the baby even gonna be safe living with her? Flushed grimace. I think there's a bigger issue here not being addressed. If the walls and carpet are really that bad and the room is filled with trash, that's really not healthy. Is she going to find a reason to switch rooms with you whenever she's trashed hers and you've fixed up yours? Stay in your room. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. Start thinking about what happens when the twins arrive. Will she demand babysitting in the name of family? Plan boundaries now. No, I will not give up my after-school activities, sports, clubs, friends. No, I can't babysit overnight, I have school tomorrow. No, I'm not giving up my weekend so you can party. Why are your parents allowing your sister to trash their house? Not the asshole. Your sister is being ridiculous and sounds like a slob. There are parents all over the world who raise children in homes with stairs. I would like to mention that I already talked to my mom and she told me no matter what it's my choice if we switch or not, she will not force me to switch. I love my mom. Heart hands.